So in just that one small little question, now we're having meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't come at me with, oh, how would you sleep? How's your day? I don't know. I don't know if it's old school of me. Like, I'm all for feminine empowerment, but I can't do it. I can't
Approach
do
somebody
it.
first?
No, I can't do it.
Are you scared of rejection?
Yeah. It hurts my pride. Like, I think that's what it is. Because if you reject me, I'm like, what?
I've been waiting to ask a girl this, but I keep forgetting every time.
Oh, God.
Now, I remember this because I went to the gym. Who is more thirsty? Dudes in the club or dudes in the gym?
I don't get bothered when I go to the gym. I actually don't. I don't get bothered.
What kind of gym you go to?
I went to EOS in Arizona, and I go to LA Fitness over here. But like, I'm just like, I don't know if like people like feed into that or not, like looking at them or make eye contact, but I don't. I'm just like, my headphones are in. I kind of have like a frown, like, don't mess with me. I'm locked in. I'm already in pain. Like, I've never really had any experiences.
Like, I be at the gym watching, and gym niggas are the nastiest approachers I have ever seen in my life. Like, in the club, like, maybe like in more dance clubs, you get that creep vibe because they're fishing for dances, right? But in the gym, when you're like in a like section club, you don't really get that as much, right? So usually dudes just stay to themselves. They may holler at a girl in a section next to them, but most of the time, not really. But the gym here is so nasty. Like, I just be watching, and like a lot of times they're like early 30s, early 40s, somewhere in that range. And they literally talk to every woman that comes in there. And they like hound them. And like sometimes women might be having like general conversation with them. But I think the gym though.
Really? I feel like if I'm by the door, as people walk in, they'll say something. And I just like, I don't hear it because my music's blasting. So I'm just like, and then they'll keep walking. Or another dude, I took out my headphones and he was like, that weight's too light. I was like, what? He's like, that weight looks too light. And I'm like, oh, okay. And just like, he kept walking. I don't know. But again, I've been told I'm not approachable. Like, my friends used to say, I feel like when we go out to the club, I get hit on way more because you just don't look approachable. I'm like, well, if you're afraid to come and talk to me because of the way that I look, then you shouldn't be talking to me. So
I mean, like 70% of like conversation is body language.
Yeah.
So like if your body language is shut off from people, then
I just be minding my business.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that because people told me the same thing. Like, but I purposely don't want to be approached.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be approached until I know like who I want to talk to in the room. Then I'll talk to those people.
Right.
But until then,
like, please don't talk to me.
Yeah. Like, but one lady, she like ended up talking to me at Waffle House. I ended up talking to her for like 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Because she like, how you doing? I was like, it was good. And we ended up like to the point where Waffle House was like, hey, we're switching shifts. Can y'all give us our tip? And then we stood outside for like another 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And a worker, like there's just one worker in there. I could tell like she be trying to talk to me when I come in there. And she was like ear hustling dolls. Oh man, that is too funny.
So she came at you?
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Why?
I can't do it. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm like my ego and I'm too prideful. But I don't know. I don't know if it's old school of me. Like, I'm all for feminine empowerment, but I can't do it. I can't
Approach
do it.
somebody first?
No, I can't do it. I can't even DM somebody first.
Why?
It's just, I don't know. I think it's an ego thing because I'm like, no, I'm not going to DM you first. I'm not going to talk to you first. It's just, I can't do it. I've never been able to do that.
Don't you think that's like hypocritical for you to say like, if I don't look approachable, you shouldn't be talking to me? Mm-hmm. But like, you won't approach anybody?
I mean, I guess. I don't think I'm unapproachable. People say I look unapproachable, but it's just, in this day and age, you kind of have to look like, don't try to take advantage of me. Don't try to mess with me. Mm-hmm. So that's especially because I go everywhere by myself. I grew up with, I had a lot of friend drama and stuff like that. So I grew up very by myself. I go to the mall by myself, movies and all that. Like, I don't mind doing that by myself. So I feel like doing that, I kind of had to look like you can't take advantage of me. Mm-hmm. So that's how I walk around. But me approaching you first, like if you come and talk to me, I'm like I said, I don't believe in being rude. I don't believe in like dogging people, but I'm not gonna go to you first. I just can't do it. At least in a romantic way. Like, I'll walk up to you and try to be your friend or something like that, or network with you, but like,
so you never shot your shot.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Are you scared of rejection?
Yeah. It hurts my pride. Like, I think that's what it is. Because if you reject me, I'm like, what? Like, and it's not that like it's not like my head is kind of big. It just hurts. Like, dang, why not? Like, I don't know if that's shallow.
How much rejecting have you done?
I mean, I've been.
What is the like? Let me get your IG ratio to you. Like,
I'll give everybody my IG.
But I'm talking about once they start like swiping up, what is the conversion rate? Do you actually like, oh, I'm gonna actually talk to this person?
I mean, I'll say thank you. And I'll say thank you, or I'll like the message. But if you keep coming at me, one, I hate boring conversations. Like, if you're boring, I will stop responding. But if you're cool, like, I'll talk to you as a friend. If I have to tell you, like, oh, you're a good friend. Hi, it's nice talking to you, friend. Like, I'll pull that card, but
so that's what you say, like,
yeah, I'll be like, oh, thanks, friend, or something like that, because I don't like to hurt people. And I grew up in high school, people used to say, you're such a heartbreaker, you're such a heartbreaker. I'm like, no, it's just, I don't want to lead you on either. But if you give me a compliment, I'm going to say thank you.
Oh, yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying thank you to a compliment.
Yeah.
But, like, the hate, thank you, friend is crazy.
You have to make it known. I don't know.
But don't you think not just telling them verbatim what it is, like,
some people don't get it though, because like there's people I'm just like not, and they're just like, just keep going. I'm like,
so what is a good way of conversating with you?
What do you mean?
So you say you hate boring conversations. What are conversations?
Like, meaningful conversations. Like, what are your aspirations in life, or like what are your values? I feel like all of that's very important, especially the more I meet people, the more you realize that the way that they're brought up determines everything. Exactly. Yeah. And it's just, that's actually really crazy to me. Like, oh, stuff that I think is common sense or stuff that's just like second nature to me, like, people are like, they don't, it doesn't click with them the same way. Yeah. So I feel like you can have a lot of conversations, not even controversial, like not even politics or stuff like that, but like, if someone gets your order wrong, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna flip out? Are you gonna tell them nicely?
That's
like,
a good question. I never.
Yeah.
Let me write that down. Gotta write that question down.
Yeah, because with me, like, I'll tell you nicely, but I'm a hothead. So like, if I have like bad service, if I feel like you're disrespecting me, like it's over with. Like, I lose it. But I won't, like, it's, again, I won't be disrespectful. But again, I think that's growing up, like, my parents not letting anyone disrespect me and stuff like that. I'm like, don't take it out on me because you're having a hard day. And that's, my mom tells me that too. She, like, if she had bad service, she's like, are you having a bad day? She'll say that to like the server or something like that. So I think that's just the way I was brought up.
That I don't see. That's good that you say that though, because I'm like a person, like, if you're acting like this, something going on with you. I'm not gonna add to it, right? I don't want to be that person to be like, even like, are you having a bad day, or telling them like, you don't got to treat me like this. Most of the time, I'm here like, let me just get through this and leave, because I don't want to be and sometimes when people give me bad service, I'll give them good tips, right?
Oh, really?
Because sometimes that's all somebody needs is like that to turn it around. I think everybody is so like, my life is about me, right? That if you do me wrong, I don't want nothing to do with you, right? Sometimes, like, I remember one time I was at like Studio Movie Grill where they like bring you food, and the dude came out and he dropped all the food out and it splashed on everybody. So I gave him like money after that happened, because like everybody else is like, oh my God, white man. They're making faces, and I'm very good at like reading body language, and like they don't want to say like you stupid, you know, they don't want to say that, but I could see it like on their face.
See, I feel like that's different though. Like, that's a mistake. That's like, if it was you, like, how would you want to react in that situation?
But sometimes giving bad service is a mistake. Like, you may look at it like it's not a mistake, but like sometimes what your day has put you through determines like how you act.
So you don't believe in like leaving that at the door. Like when I take a dance class, so like if you had a hard day, all that, you leave that at the door, and then this is your space. This is like your focus. So this is their job, and this is how they're making money.
And I think that's an unrealistic expectation to put on people.
Really?
Right? And that's why work environments become toxic. Is because they expect you not to be human for 8 hours, which is, you can't do that. Right? So if people were more apt to like help each other, like people, and a lot of it comes down to money. Like I'm a person, even even at jobs where like I made commission or like our sales goal was a thing, I'm not a person who's like, all right, you're helping them, I'm not going to help. I'm like, if you're helping a customer and I can help you help the customer for them to have a better experience, I'll do it, because that's how people should function. So you take something like a restaurant, like I would imagine if I worked in a restaurant, like, yo, like, you straight? I mean, you want me to cover your table for you? Because when you took their plate, they looked a little angry at you, you know what I'm saying? But people don't want to help each other anymore. So now you're forced to be all on your own in this environment, and people pretend like you're not supposed to feel anything. I just don't believe
I feel like sometimes though people aren't aware that they're taking out on other people, because they had a time that we went to Subway and they're like, oh, like, are you good? And he's like, oh, you know, you're right, I shouldn't be taking that out on you. But there's some occurrences that, like, in my mailroom at my school dorm, like the mail lady just snapped at me. She's like, well, if this person doesn't live here, you can't have your mail sent there. And I said, first of all, you don't have to talk to me like that. Yeah. And then she snapped back. I'm like, well, if you're going to snap back when I already told you, like, you're talking to me disrespectful, now it's a problem, because now you think it's okay to continuously disrespect me. Yeah. And then now I'm going to have to check you. So
I think like that, like if it's like a good, like I try not to do that with waiters though, because like the chances of me ever being served by you again is like minute.
I never really had problems with waiters though. It's most of the time like customer service, like a cashier or something, or the Domino's on my campus, man. Oh my gosh, they were like ridiculous because they messed up our order and they didn't want to fix it. Like, sent me on to 10 different managers. Well, I can't do this. And he even said, here's the manager number, you call him. Like, oh my gosh. Like, are you serious? Yeah.
See, I'm also like a person, like, if you mess up my order, I'm just not going to come back. I'm straight. Like, and I think that came from my mom being like, whatever I put on your plate, you eat. Mm-hmm. And you have to finish this plate before you can eat anything else. Mm-hmm. So I remember one time my brother, we were at my grandma's house, and like he had the same plate for dinner, then breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch. And she didn't let him eat anything else, so he finished that plate. So I think that gave me the ability to be like, all right, I'll just eat it, bro. It's whatever. I'm not. But also, I think that's why sometimes a lot of guys like girls who will be like, my man plate, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like a give and take, because I just know me. I don't want to start down the road, because if you push me to like being mad, it's going to be bad for you.
Yeah.
Like, not like physically, but like my mouth. Like when I want to, because I care less than people. Right, and I can tell like what bothers you while I'm talking to you, and I'm just gonna keep pressing that button the whole time. Like, and I don't want to do that to people, because so I just avoid confrontation.
But see, this is like what I mean by meaningful conversation, because I just found out so much. You mentioned your mom, you mentioned all kind of things, your upbringing. So in just that one small little question, now we're having meaningful conversation. Yeah, for sure. So I'm like, don't come at me with, oh, how would you sleep? How's your day? What did you do? I'm like, man, if you don't miss me.
People do that until somebody breaks, because some people are very protective of themselves.
Oh, I'm one of those people.
Trust. Yeah. So, like, you kind of want to be surface to stay in the loop until one of those things come up where y'all could go into a deeper conversation.
Yeah. I feel like there's levels to it though. Like, I can tell you how I handle something like that, because now I know how you handle conflict. If like you're more passive, like, oh, I'm okay, like I'll just eat it, or if you're like, man, because at one point we're gonna have conflict, and I need to know if you're just gonna be like, man, like It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
be that kind of person. Or if you're more of an alpha, we're going to be like, no. And I'm going to be
Yeah.
like, well, no. And it's just going to be a whole big ordeal.
I'm also like a person where I'm like, I'm not going to engage in conflict if I'm with other people, because I don't know if the people around me are want to go to the level of conflict that I can push people to.
So if your friend jumps, are you jumping?
No. Okay. That's a good question. So I remember it depends, right? So I remember I was in a club in Tampa and I was with somebody and a fight broke out. Now he knows the person that was in the fight and the person he was fighting. I didn't know anybody. So I stopped him from joining the fight, because if you go start fighting these group of people, I don't know who your people is. I don't know who they people is, and we'll end up, you have to live here at the end of the day. So like, I don't want to get into a situation where, so I actually stopped them from going into the thing until everything was broken up. The dude went outside, he went to like his trunk, got his gun, whatever, was driving around the parking lot. And once I figured out what was what, then I can. But like, if I'm with like my friends and we're on a resort and you get, okay, look, I know who we came with. Like, there's no questions about what's going on. But it just depends on the situation. A lot of times I'll tell my friends, like, when I see them going to a certain threshold with people, I'll like, bro, we ain't got to do that. Like, just because we can don't mean we have to.
Right.
So I'm one of them type of people. I'm gonna try to prevent it, but like, if somebody start tripping on you and they escalate it, we lit for sure.
Yeah.
You jumping in?
Like he said, it depends. Cause I'm not gonna jump for nobody. Like anybody. I'm not gonna jump for just anybody for any situation. So, because I grew up like, I have a lot to lose, and you can't just be fighting everybody. That's something that my parents always instilled in me, because my parents were always like, education. Like, I had a 4.0 since middle school.